Oh, hello, and welcome to Aldente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the E stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy, most pasta, and tonight, most Curtisville.
Ooh.
For tonight, we have the Aberration series, Prologue, and A to D. So, yeah, the Aberration series is a brand new series of creepypastas written by Pratt99. You can check them out at creepypasta.wiki, along with all the other Curtisville stories and the other stories that Pratt has written. This one, they actually contacted me and said, "Hey, like I'm doing a new series. If you want to check it out." And I was like, "Okay."
Definitely, okay.
It's really weird when like an author like contacts us,
because then there's expectations. Like,
it's just like I guess we're doing something right.
I don't know.
Like
somebody listens.
I guess the sincerity is still like comes through. Like
yeah,
we're, like doing this as like dicks.
Mm-hmm.
To the contrary of like how we might sound sometimes, or at least how I feel sometimes. At least how I feel like sometimes like we sound like it's like, man, like we are like really pedantic sometimes.
So all the time we have a whole bit about the tangent police because of how pedantic we are and like talking about random shit all the time as well.
Yeah. So we're gonna start covering the Aberration series. From what we've gleaned, they are tied to the Curtisville stories. So yay, more Curtisville.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that's one of the reasons why we just covered like 2 stories in the Curtisville series, because they are linked in some of the Aberration series. So I kind
covered one twice.
Oh
no, we did Cochrane Road as well.
Yeah, what we covered? What
we did 2412 East Cochrane Road as well.
Yes, and then the Hobby and the Headland is actually another link that I found when I was going through the other Aberration series. So
yes,
I wanted to grab them like the links ahead of time because like just in case like they like it required reading or have some context for what we're getting into. But yeah, so yeah, Aberration series, Prologue, and A to D. I'm going to recommend it.
I am going to partially recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably leave it as a partial right now, but again, I'm open to be swayed one way or the other.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys just sitting on that picket fence.
A little bit, yeah. But you can pull me over to your side, or Mike, you can just keep me right here. We'll see. Or push me off the other side. Who knows?
Yeah. Over the edge in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
Or the right direction. Who knows? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all right. Well, then let's dive in and find out why we gave those recommendations. We're starting with the rundown. So this story, like the title kind of insinuates, Aberration series, Prologue, and A to D. There are sort of like chapters in the story, or at least like entries that are in alphabetical order. So like A, B, C, and D. And
shockingly, C is not for Curtisville.
No, yeah, weirdly enough. Also, the C is weird. The C is different than is not a regular C, but we'll get into that.
Oh yeah, I forgot to even consider that.
I have some actual thoughts about like 3 of, or at least 2 of the alphabetical titles, but
okay.
Regardless,
we should get into the rundown.
Yeah, here's the rundown.
Long enough as it is.
I know. I'm stalling for time now. So we're gonna start with A is for Aberration. So this story is a recollection from Liz Vanderzee's childhood, as presented in volume 35 of the spring 1989 Merlet Literary Magazine. When Liz was 9, she and her younger sister Leia and older brother Ben noticed that
Hang on a second. Where do you get her last name, and where do you get this time frame?
Go down to the bottom of the first story, and there's a sort of a credit.
Piss! I didn't realize that.
Each story has something like that. Yeah.
Oh no, I saw that. It just didn't. It didn't. Yeah.
Click.
It didn't click that is Nair.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
So wait, her last name is
Yeah.
Vander Z, and
So-
but she likes being called Z, so
It-
she would be called Z Vander Z.
Or she just like, it's like how like some people go by like their last name as like their name.
Oh
versus,
yes,
like their first
fair.
name. Yeah.
I thought Z was a short form of
Elizabeth.
because
Yeah.
there's a Z in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
You should do the rundown. Our intro
Yeah, I should,
rundown is-
So when Liz was 9, she and her younger sister Leia and older brother Ben noticed that a strange burlap sack of something had appeared in their family shed. At first, they thought it might be potatoes, or imagined it to be jewels or fairies inside. But as they poked and prodded at it, some dark, oppressive energies exuded from it, keeping them from ever actually looking inside. They kept getting really bad feelings about it, so they left it alone. However, after discovering it, they also began having terrible nightmares at night. Each of the siblings and even their parents were plagued by terrible dreams for about 2 weeks before their dad grabbed the sack and buried it under an old oak tree at the edge of the property. Only then did they sleep well afterwards, and rarely did they speak of the sack again. But every so often, when Liz looked out at the old oak tree, she hoped that the ground was heavy enough and that the tree was strong enough to keep the bag of freaking nightmares beneath the ground. And that's the end of A is for Aberration. Moving on to B is for Bugbear. This is a poem of unknown origin, first recorded in the Republic of the Americas in 1805. It's titled A Bag of Gray, and is about a burlap sack holding darkness within, and any who touch it are plagued with misfortune and can even end up being added to the sack. A farmer once did, and had a part of himself, likely his soul, lost to it. And that's the end of B is for Bugbear. Then we move on to copyright C is for Cracks. The following is a news clipping from the Uniontown Times Standard from September 30th, 2003. It details a very nasty storm that swept in over Curtisville one night and brought down many of the large and ancient oak trees in town, which seemed to be a point of historic pride to the people of Curtisville. And then we move on to D is for Details. The following is text from The Poison Chain, the documented facts in the case of otherworldly revenge by Herb D. Tillinghast, Merlet University Press, 2014. It recaps what was said in the news article from 2003 in the Uniontown, but then goes a bit further on what the paper did not report. Things like the townsfolk murmuring about feeling a dreadful energy emanating from the fallen trees, almost like a fading heartbeat. There were also accompanying photos from a local high school photography student that showed the massive trees in haunting light, sort of like the upturned roots look like giant claws, like reaching out to the sky. And then there were the words or ramblings, depending on who you spoke to, of a local keeper of lore named Hemlock Boisvert. He claims that the trees were an ancient connection to pre-human powers beneath the earth, the ancient ones who maintained a balance and may be pissed about the current state of their oak trees. Even the team tasked with removing the oaks were reporting wrongness surrounding the fallen trees. Machinery failure and feelings of dizziness and disorientation when they tried to work on removing the remains, which were waved off by authorities as coincidence and possible gas leaks. These mundane explanations for the strangeness, however, have since been dismissed themselves. Finn. Yeah, that is the rundown for the Aberration series, Prologue, and A to D. So, I suppose we shall move on to Everyone Tolerates the Grammar Inquisitions! At this point, I'm going to start with, obviously, A is for Aberration. So, get this one here. The three of us, me, Elizabeth, in brackets, age 9 at the time, end bracket, also known as Liz to her friends, though I much preferred the name Z, Leia, who was who was then 7, and my older brother Ben, who just turned 12 that fateful autumn, were instantly captivated. So I think it needs to be Liz to my friends, not Liz to her friends, since it does seem like it to indicate that Nair, who is Elizabeth here, is the one narrating.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like she's technically narrating this in the first person, so like it should be my friends. Also for Z, the comma to continue on the listing of people involved is in the quotation of the nickname. So I believe that it should be outside of the quotation for around the surrounding Z. And then the other thing the other bone I have to pick with this little like paragraph is is it even a paragraph, or is that all? No, there are no periods. That's also just like all commas. But that's fine. But the actual thing I have an issue with is like, why are there brackets around Elizabeth's like age, like description, but not around her sister or brothers? I just feel like if you're gonna do brackets around like Elizabeth, age 9 at the time, and then go down like Leia in bracket, who was then 7 in bracket, and then bracket who turned 12 at that fateful autumn and bracket. Either use the brackets or don't use the brackets.
Yeah, use it all for the same or none at all. Yes, for
exactly.
sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Exactly. The next thing I have here. But none of our stories quite fit the heavy, oppressive feeling that the sack seemed to exclude. So I think that should be exude. Because it's exuding the oppressive feeling, it's not excluding.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
This thing's unknown. You don't know what this thing does and doesn't do.
You're right, kind of, but also yeah.
Also, you're right though.
Thank you. Moving on to the next thing. Leia shifted, glancing over her shoulder as if expecting something to jump out. They were dancing of the walls. They whispered my name. Her tiny voice wavered, and I couldn't shake the chill that slowly wormed its way down my spine. You know what? Same, Z. Same. This just reminds me of how the niece cultist used to talk about stories of the stick witch that lived in her closet and would prance around on the walls and ceilings in the middle of the night in her room.
She wasn't scared of it. She was like, hell yeah.
It kind of she would sometimes like just say it like nonchalantly, but like sometimes she would say like it scared her.
Oh, okay.
So, but back to the actual like grammar Inquisition here. Like this is just like I didn't want to like repeat a quote from in my actual thoughts. I think it should be was dancing either it should be dancing on the walls or dancing off the walls. Because right now it says dancing of the walls.
Yeah.
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 And then yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just keep doing it.
10 minutes later. Yeah. Okay, we should move on.
All right. Yeah. We could even describe some of them property. There were things that didn't quite make sense, things that defied description in known language, even. Yeah, like the properties of it. But no, I think it's supposed to be. We couldn't even describe some of them properly.
Yeah, instead of property.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my last thing for A is, but sometimes when I look at that old oak tree, I couldn't help but wonder if the nightmare were still down there, just waiting to be unearthed by another unsuspecting soul. So first off, something front butt. But more importantly, don't. And this one's going to be like in the story when they're talking about like what was in the bag, and the one character like Z is like it wasn't full of pleasant things. It was full of freaking nightmares. So I was like, dude, don't you mean the freaking nightmares might still be down there? But also the real grammar issue that I originally had for this, nightmares, plural, So in the actual story, it says, I couldn't help but wonder if the nightmare were still down there. So it should either be if the nightmare was still down there or if the nightmares were still down there.
Oh, I see. Because of the were.
Yeah.
The were makes it sound like it should be plural. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have for A section, or for A is for aberration. So, Mikey, the E stands for evil. What do you have for A?
That's all you have, man. You got to really step up.
All right.
You had like so many. I have one.
Yeah, you did a good job, and I'm evil.
All right. I thought for a second, I was like, I'm proud of you. But no, it's just, you're evil. All right. Gamer?
Okay. Curveball, I'm not starting at A.
What?
Yeah, I'm starting before A.
Oh, okay. Wait, okay.
So this first one isn't a problem with the grammar or spelling of the story, but technically it's of my own brain and of like the English language as a whole, because as we all know, I hate the English language. So like I was typing out the title for this, and I noticed that I was like instinctively typing it as Aberration, like for aberration.
Oh yeah.
Because I say it as aberration. That's how I say it. But like it was telling me it's the wrong word. I'm like, oh shit, I've been typing it wrong. That's probably because I've been saying it wrong. I should be saying it as maybe aberration. But then I go and Google pronunciation shit, and then it says no, it's neither of those. Just say aberration.
Yeah, no,
so
it's
like fuck.
Yeah.
Why is there a double R if you don't say it? There's a silent R in the word aberration.
I don't know, bud. I really don't know.
Fuck!
I just know that I also, if it helps, I too suffer. Like, I constantly have to double check to make sure I've spelled aberration right, because I always add a second B.
Yeah! That's what I did constantly. That's why I had to Google this and figure this out.
I had to have that. Weirdly enough, in my time like playing like red markets, I constantly had to like beat the word aberration into my head, like how to spell it.
Yeah.
because in that game, special zombies are called aberrants.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so my next one that's before A.
Okay.
The table of contents. So it's laid out with A for aberration, which takes you to the very first line, and then like at the very top of the page, and then the link after that is a true incident from childhood, which takes you to the very next line. Why?
Yeah, it does. So that's I can tell you that is probably a situation of formatting. Probably the author accidentally like put like made like A is for aberration, B is for bugbear, blah blah, as its own like header type, which would then probably like get automatically put into the contents table.
Yeah.
And so, but then they use the same like basically formatting for the subtitle of A is for aberration, which is a true incident from childhood. So
yeah,
I mean, an easy fix would just be to like make the a true incident from childhood the same format as like the rest of the body of the text, and then just bold it and stuff. So
yeah, just number 2 has to be removed from the contents.
Yeah.
Of the table of contents. But yeah, it's weird.
Yep.
Then that's all of my chapter 0 ones, I guess.
Okay.
Chapter title. And then the one I have left is from A. The shed at the bottom of our garden was normally a quiet place, blah, 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 blah. So the wording of this seemed strange to me, specifically at the bottom of our garden, which immediately made me think that there was a shed buried underneath the earth of the garden. But then the next way it manifested in my head was like the garden was on a bit of a hill, and at the bottom of that hill was the shed, which made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But then lastly, I thought that maybe bottom of our garden is just like a local dialect for like at the end of our garden, which I'm assuming is what this is. Like it's just a flat plain with the shed at the end.
Yep.
Just the wording was strange, and I haven't heard that before.
Yeah, I have heard like people reference like the end of their backyard or like the back of their backyard as the bottom before, but it's just like it's not common, but it is used.
Oh, that's fucked up, man. Okay, my place.
That's so funny. That's so fucked up, man.
Sorry.
I understand. Yeah.
Specifically in regards to where I live,
Yeah.
my backyard goes up a hill. So
As do a lot of places around our
So the
neighborhood.
bottom of my backyard is up a hill.
Yep. You're right.
My brain. Ow.
Yeah, because like our neighborhood is in a ravine, so like a lot of properties back up onto hills. So,
Yeah. Oh man, that's weird.
yeah. So that's why you wouldn't have really heard it here, because people probably wouldn't use that terminology for where we live.
Yeah.
But like other places.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, that's it for on A.
All right, no worries. Then moving on to B is for Bugbear. I've got a note for the title, but it's in actual thoughts more. I feel like it's more for more of an actual thought thing. But
yeah, I never know where to put stuff where it's like I'm learning stuff about words. I tend to put it in grammar because it's just like it's in relation to words. It's not in relation to the story. That's how I think of it. I can never decide.
Should I talk about my qualm with B is for Bugbear title?
I don't know. Mine's in notes as well.
I feel like it's a note thing.
Okay.
Let's leave it for notes.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
No problem. Happy to make it nice and confusing for you.
Otherwise, I have nothing for B is for Bugbear. Mikey, D stands for evil.
I'm evil.
Gamer.
Okay. So the very start of this one, the title of it saying the bag of gray, it has an apostrophe at the end, but not the start of it. So like either it's missing the start apostrophe, which would signify that this is a title, or the single quote at the end means something that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, I think that might be a typo.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Because generally, if you're if you're listing a song or a rhyme or something, you put it in quotes, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then this next one is another "my brain don't work too good" one. Either way, indulge me here while I learned something. So when I glanced over the song, there's mentions of bracket, chorus, and bracket. And that immediately confused me for a second, because when I first saw it, I was like, okay, but what's the chorus? I'm assuming that the bracket was meant to be like, you know what the chorus is, and it goes here. That's how I first saw it.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but there's two bracketed parts. Maybe the chorus is what's in between the two bracketed parts. But then I was like, but then there would only be one chorus in that whole thing, and that defeats the purpose of a chorus. But then, like, at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give up on overanalyzing this and actually start reading this one, because I did all this without even reading the entry yet. So then I start reading it, and it makes more sense that the chorus is just the verse that follows the notation of it. And upon figuring that out, I Googled it, and yes, that's how you do it. Yeah. So while this isn't grammar issue at all, I thought it was until I found out that it wasn't, and I didn't want to delete what I wrote down. So here we are.
You're making the rest of us suffer. Got it.
Yeah, I'm bringing you guys down with me.
Fair enough. I mean, it is kind of like when you just like look over something, like, yeah, it can be that kind of way, but
yeah, if you don't know like proper music structure and how to title things, then yes, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But even so, removing those words, chorus, like, you still get what the chorus is because you're reading the repetitive nature of it.
Yeah. Although, like,
no one else would be like, oh, well, this part is copy and pasted. That's not supposed to be there. I don't know.
I mean, it's a song, so there would be a chorus.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I'm just saying it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
I suppose. Hey, at least you learned something new about like how song structure works.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got for being sorry.
Okay. Then on to copyrat. Man, copyrat is like the creepy. It has to be like a creepypasta monster.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
sorry.
Well, it's the copyright version of Rap Rat.
Oh my god! Dare you invoke his name? Mikey, who was like not too pleased that I was like I almost bought a copy of Rap Rat, the board game, off of eBay once. Anyway, copyright C is for cracks. Again, I don't have anything for this one until final thoughts, so I've got nothing for grammar. Mikey.
I'm evil.
Gamer.
I'm gamer. Or I'm yellow, whatever one works better. AKA, I don't have anything for C.
Okay. Then I suppose we'll move on to D, is for details. So I've got 2 here. Wind's speed had reached levels unheard of in Curtisville's history, and the sheer power had finally brought down the venerable oaks. So I think it actually just needs to be wind speed. There's no S at the end of wind when you're referring to like the wind speed of something.
Oh yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I did have to look that one up just to make sure. But and then the other one I had is a tense talk situation, I think. He spoke of the ancient ones, the beings who have cared for the trees before humanoid life forms claimed the land, and warned that they might not appreciate their disruption. So I think it should be the ancient ones, the beings who had cared for the trees before humanoid life forms claimed the land. Like I feel like they've been caring for them since in the past, in the far past. So
yeah, because have is a present tense situation.
Yeah, I mean the thing also could be that like they are still caring for the oaks or for the trees. But I think for clarity, I think it should still be past tense in this situation.
Yeah, because if it was meant to be current, it would be the beings who still care for the trees, right?
Well, but then like later in that same sentence, it does say like, and warned that they might not appreciate their disruption. So like they had been caring for them, and they have been caring for them, and now they might not be appreciative that these trees have fallen, or
yeah.
So it's muddy water, I think, at best.
Maybe it should be like who had cared and still cared for the trees or something like that, because that's what it's actually getting across.
Yeah.
But yes.
Okay. Again, I'm not going to die on this hill. It's just like minor tense talk. It's just like that kind of irked me. It's like, shouldn't that be had?
Mm-hmm. But, we all have certain bits of just writing that irks us one way or another.
Yeah.
You are definitely the tense individual.
I am very tense.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey, these stands for evil.
I have a conjunction.
No! All right.
And next stop, Conjunction Junction. Doot, doot.
It also housed Dad's lawnmower, a workbench, a rusty spade, and Mom's collection of fancy yard decor, vintage flower pots, and planters. But last week, something new arrived. A large burlap sack, slumped like a sleeping giant in the darkest corner. It wasn't fastened tight like a proper feed bag. Instead, the neck was folded over, as if trying to contain something wide awake and restless. It didn't groan or rustle to life like a waking tramp. It just sat there, plain, brown, and unassuming, yet radiating a strange, unsettling energy. But it didn't smell earthy and starchy like potatoes. It didn't smell like anything ordinary. And sometimes, if you listened very carefully, you could almost hear a low, humming sound emanating from its depths, a wasp-like drone that made the hair on my arms prickle and stand up. But none of our stories quite fit the heavy, oppressive feeling that the sack seemed to exclude. But just saying that only made me feel more uneasy. But Leah only shook her head. It was filled with frickin' nightmares. It's giving me and Mom the creeps too. But sometimes, when I looked at that old oak tree, I couldn't help but wonder if the nightmare were still down there, just waiting to be unearthed by another unsuspecting soul.
Hang on a minute. By that context, so her younger sibling, her head was filled with nightmares. And then all of a sudden, the nightmares are buried under the tree.
Oh,
They
no.
buried the daughter under the tree to get rid of that.
Because the dad, I think the dad was like, because it's creeping mom and me out too.
Wow.
We had to put Leia down.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm sorry, it was freaking nightmares, not just nightmares.
Oh, that's true.
Mhm. All right, continuing. And even to this very day, I still hoped that the dirt was thick and heavy enough that the oak tree grew strong enough to keep those things buried forevermore. Because some things are better left undisturbed, especially those things that don't make sense, those things that come from beyond the edges of our understanding, those things that are stuffed away in an old burlap sack in the corner of a dark shed.
Dark shit. No, sorry.
Shit.
Sorry.
Shed.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
What do you
Just the
mean?
way I heard it. The way I heard it. I'm sorry.
I know.
See, that's you apologize for mishearing someone. Anyway, moving on.
I'll take note of that and promptly forget.
Good.
It sits inside the barn so cold, but something there you must take heed. It's marked with knots in tangled plaits, and holds a darkness day and night. And lost his laughter, lost his whole. It's marked with knots in tangled plaits, and holds a darkness day and night. So if you stray and see it loom, and you might join within its fold. But as they worked, things changed.
But wait. But as they work, did you just
That's later on.
Okay. Wow, when you take just selected lines from a poem, it sure doesn't rhyme very well.
No, it sounds. I don't know. It's not a rhyme anymore. It's more like a fancy ass poem that you're like listening to in like a club, and everyone's like snapping their fingers after
Yeah, exactly,
it. It's
yeah.
not really. It doesn't
Bongo music
rhyme, but it's
playing.
like it makes you feel.
Yeah, everybody's got berets on and like
Yeah.
smoking hookahs, and there's there's bongo
Absolutely.
music playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, yeah, it threw me off when you just immediately skipped past like after the poem and went straight to like the next story segment.
Mhm.
But really, like there was no like its, ends, or buts in C is for cracks. And there's only one in D is for details. That's
Yep.
oh, bravo.
Well, they're relatively short, so.
Mhm.
True.
That's
Yeah.
true. It's kind of funny. Like early on, most of your sentences that you grab throughout the story with words that they probably shouldn't, like its, ends, or buts, because there's always better words to use. Were basically all just describing the sack.
Yeah.
Like over and over, like all the descriptions. And I think that's all the descriptions for the sack. They all start with words that they probably don't. Or
Yeah.
probably shouldn't, rather.
Also, I'm just gonna say now. I know we do this for the bit. We do this for like for lulz, but I will say all the its, ends, or buts that were in the poem can get a pass in the same way that like dialogue can get a pass.
100%. 100%.
That we're not doing this for we're not doing this super serial.
No.
But yeah. All right. Gamer.
No. You don't have anything for a D.
All right. Then I suppose we'll move on to actual thoughts. So I guess obviously we're gonna go back up to the top to A is for aberration. And I'm actually gonna start with the image, which is a photo of an old shed, like garden shed, presumably, or work shed, just on the outer edge of like a property, probably, or like by a tree line at least. And it works. Like
Mhm.
I like it. Like it works adequately for like what's being described, of a setting piece, of a set dressing that is in the first story. So, one thing is I know like stories don't need images, but I do feel like I think it was in C section or D. I think it's in D section where it talks about like photography of like fallen stumps that like are clawing at the sky. I know that can be a harder like kind of photo to acquire, but like I kind of felt like that's where a photo would have gone to in the series of stories or in these
of
in these
just like
stories.
storm damage, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just since like the story like does describe like that there were photos taken of the devastation from after the storm. Hell,
Mhm.
I almost could provide some of that based on what happened last year.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, we'll get into that when we get to that article because that brought back some memories.
hmm
But I digress. Back to A section, or A is for aberration. What do you think's inside? I whispered, clutching tight my stuffed rabbit, Boba. Yeah, both my parents were hardcore Star Wars fans at the time. I was almost named Mon Mothma, if that told you anything. Ben shrugged, his usual swagger a bit diminished. Oh, you son of a bitch. That's why his name's Ben, like old Ben Kenobi. And that's why her little sister Leia is named after Princess Leia. That's
Yeah.
all right. You know what? I'm kind of surprised that Elizabeth wasn't named Mon Mothma, or like at least something similar. Like you could have named her Monica, and just like had like Mon like as a nickname.
Monica
Just
Mothma, then
Yeah,
the
Monica
last name.
Mothma. Yeah, Monica Mothma, Vander Z.
hmm
Just like I'm not gonna die on this hill, but like you could have had all your kids have Star Wars names. And in fact, you skipped one because Elizabeth here it seems to be the middle child. So I'm surprised like she wasn't named Leia.
Yeah.
Well, it's the battle of the parents. Probably the mom agreed to one, and then the second one's like, they're going to have a regular name. And then the third one's like, okay.
Yeah.
It does say that both of them are massive nerds, though.
So it could have actually been like the family, like the parent, like the grandparents. Like you're not naming your kids all off. I don't want all my grandkids being named like Star Wars names.
Yeah. First one came through. It's like Ben. Oh, it's a nice name. Okay,
Yeah.
next one. Mon Mothma. No, actually, you're not doing that.
Choose a normal name. It's like all right. We have a third one. We're thinking Leia. It's like, oh, Leia's a nice name. Wait, that's a Star Wars name. It's like, yeah. It's like, fine. It's the last one anyway. It's fine. The youngest. It'll do. Also, I did like the how this all like this kind of explanation came out of like her stuffed rabbit being named Boba, and then like she goes, yeah, my parents were hardcore Star Wars fans. Like I kind of wish it said something like her parents gave her the rabbit and like said that its name was Boba, but that can be like between the lines.
Maybe just what do you want to name it? She's like picks a name. No. Picks another name. No. Picks another name. No. It's Boba, actually. What about this name? No, it's Boba. Look, he had a jetpack.
Yeah. I know this story came out in like 1989, so like it was like basically the first Star Wars. Wait, no, hang on. No, 89. Okay, no, 89 would have covered all of them. Okay. But or
including
all
the ones that just came out recently.
I was trying to correct myself and you would not let me.
No, of course not. It's funnier if I don't.
I assume, yeah. But yeah, like the first series. So it's like I was gonna say it's like if it was modern day, it's like the stuffed bunny is actually just a Grogu.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Named Boba.
Well, it's the plushie of Grogu with a Mandalorian helmet.
Oh, true. Yeah.
But it's not. It's just it's fine. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Moving on to the next thing I have here. I dreamed something awful, he stammered, his voice barely a whisper. Black ribbons that were alive, moving like snakes, and they were singing 1, 2, buckle my shoe, backwards. Yep. Like is that what it's doing, or is it shoe my buckle 2, 1?
I'm assuming that.
Yeah.
Because I doubt that this child would have understood backward speech, also known as Swedish.
Wow.
I say that specifically because I watched a video recently of Oh, what was it? I think it was on VFX Arts React or something. They were talking about some scene from some old comedy movie where they go into this like Swedish bookstore and they filmed the whole thing backwards and said their lines forward. Or the Swedish guy said his lines forward, so they would come out backwards to make it sound "quote unquote" Swedish.
Wow.
That's specifically why I said that. It's technically a connective tissues thing because I saw it recently.
Yeah. Wow. Also, I just like to personally say, I love you, Sweden. Please don't hate
Oh,
us.
absolutely, they're the greatest.
Yeah.
Aside from Canada, because I am Canadian.
Fair. Yes. But yeah, no. All I can think of. See, I wasn't thinking Swedish thing, but like when I immediately thought like 1, 2, buckle my shoe like backwards. All I could think of is like the backwards talk from like Twin Peaks, where like the main character's in like the red room, and like there's this like little guy that just like starts walking around like it's clear like he's doing everything in reverse, including his voice, and whenever he talks in reverse.
Oh, okay.
And it's sort of supposed to be like a dream sequency kind of thing, so like it makes sense for like having a nightmare where somebody is saying that in reverse. But also I think for the kid who's 12,
Yes.
probably wouldn't know like how to translate a reverse of that word, so it'd probably be like, oh, like it's just shoe my buckle 2, 1 and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's doing like the entire like song or the entire like rhyme, like nursery rhyme, so it's like starting at the end, and then like so like 9, 10, blah blah blah, and then going 7, 8, and then going on, basically going up like that.
I would assume so.
Yeah, but
If
anyway,
it's fully backwards,
just
but yes.
yeah, just a silly thing that popped in when this was being mentioned. So
Well, you say it's silly, but also like that is what's actually being described, and I also had that same question of is it backwards speech or backwards just orientation of words?
yeah, all right. Moving on to the next thing. That was when both of us realized then the sack wasn't filled with seed potatoes or precious jewels or even magical creatures. It was filled with freaking nightmares. The worst freaking nightmares imaginable. Ah, yes, this burlap sack. Fill it with freaking nightmares, yes.
That's awesome. I did not read into that when I first read it.
It's like, it's just the way, like, this is between, like, that meme, like that guy on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, Titan's Nest, that like make it freaking sick, yes.
Yes.
And just like reading like a double use of like freaking nightmares, like in 2 sentences, like one after the other. It just like made me realize every time like they said nightmares, I'm like, excuse me, you need to have freaking nightmares.
Yes. For every mention of nightmares that comes up after this.
When the use of nightmares happens, make it freaking nightmares, yes. But yeah, so that's
so
what I got for that. Yeah. Moving on to the next thing. Each night after that, for about a fortnight, the nightmares became even more bizarre, more unsettling. We're having to defend ourselves from other players as the world started falling apart. No, sorry,
the
wrong.
lore is of Fortnite?
Wrong Fortnite. I honestly think I might have been confusing like Fortnite with PUBG a little bit, but
Oh, okay.
but I know like Fortnite is like, again, like it's like a free for all sort of survival thing, and I think the world is getting smaller or something, or like the barrier.
I don't even.
But
the
I
original
just had-
one was a zombie defense
I
game
know, and it
where
should've
you
been-
can like just summon like building materials to make your defenses, and it was cool. And then they ruined it.
Yep, exactly. But we are old millennials.
Yeah. Also,
so-
Fortnite is spelled different than Fortnite here.
No, that's true, because Fortnite, the actual term Fortnite, is an old English word, I believe, for basically it's a word for a type of time. So like a fortnight is about 14 days or 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
When you're describing in terms of like time, like a set of time.
Yes. Which I think with the original intent of the game Fortnite was you're supposed to survive for a fortnight.
Yeah. And it's also like it's a fort builder. Like you're supposed to like build like a fort against the zombies.
I didn't think
like,
about that. That's
Fortnite.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it was layers upon layers, and then it became this like
Hey, you can be Goku now and just fight people.
So it just became Ready Player One.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the actual story here, and like this mention. So it's like basically for like 2 weeks they had these nightmares before Dad finally got out and buried the thing. Why did they not say anything to their parents about like these nightmares they were having, like these visceral nightmares, or do something about the sack themselves? Like, I know they're kids, but still, like the parents should have gotten involved way earlier.
So,
Um,
question or note,
yeah.
they did, but it wasn't told to us
Yeah,
because the dad said specifically, looking for it.
it's giving me the mom nightmares or the creeps too.
Yeah, two,
Yeah. Yeah.
which means like we are also getting what you kids have, aka you have told us.
Yeah, so the story just didn't tell us that they had told their parents about it.
Which is a shame because that could have
yeah.
been like a good little scene. It doesn't even have to be a long scene. It could just be like you just bring it up and then they'd be like, "Well, we told mom and dad, but they assured us it was just our overactive imaginations playing tricks on us."
Yeah.
Like that could be the entirety of the line, but just having that one line would kind of stitch this together a little bit better.
Yeah. Also, just one thing that I took it out of my notes because I realized my mistake. But when I first read the story, it wasn't until I reread the story that I realized the dad did not put the burlap sack in the shed to begin with. For some reason, I thought he had. I think it was because like it mentioned like, oh, what's in the sack? Like, where'd the sack come from? Like, oh, dad, maybe it's like a sack of potatoes. Like, dad bought a bunch of like seedling potatoes and stuff. So I think that's where I got that confused because my initial note here was like, by the end of the story was like, okay, why did you well, like if like if this thing gives people nightmares and such, why did you bring it home? But it did just kind of magically or mysteriously appear in their shed one night or one day. So
I don't know if that's the case because like unless he hasn't been in his shed for like weeks and then the kids say that there's a sack in there and then he's like, okay, that thing's weird and creepy, I didn't put it there, I'm gonna get rid of it.
Yeah.
But like the fact that it seems like these kids tell them of the nightmares and what's causing it, and then he's like, whatever, and then they get the nightmares, like, okay, now it's time to get rid of it, aka he already knew about it being there, aka he put it there.
Also, he knew how to get rid of like the nightmares by like burying it under the old oak. And like as the story kind of progresses, we do find out that the town of Curtisville has this sort of like connection with with the old oak trees being like guardians. So or being like sort of like I guess spiritual protectors maybe. So like yeah, I feel like we are kind of getting a little bit like one-sided conversation or like one-sided phone call kind of thing here, where like we're just getting the kids' perspective, but like there is something bigger going on with the adults.
Exactly, like we're only seeing through the kids' eyes, so
Yeah.
it's entirely possible that this thing showed up and the dad's like, why is that here? And then he goes to touch it and he's getting these spooky vibes. He's like, for some reason, I don't want to touch that. This is weird. Tomorrow I'm going to go to the library or go to the local wizard and find out what the heck this is about.
Because again, it's Curtisville, so like I mean, like again, like Mitch, like we know, like it's established that there are like elves and dwarves and Chickcharney and goblins and Wolf Cop is down. Where's Wolf? I'm gonna go contact my buddy Henry with the Wolf Cop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or again, like you said, go to the library and then read that poem.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. But yeah, like all those things could have been happening in the background, but we don't know because we're only seeing it through this one kid's eyes.
Yeah. Which I don't hate. It's just like it just made me ask questions about what's going on. So and similarly, the end of the story we get like the kind of credits to like the story, like Liz Vanderzee, Merlet Literary Magazine, Merlet University Press, spring of 1989, volume 35. So in this
all of which I did not read over.
It's fine. So yeah, so in this story's lore, this is a written entry by Liz or Z as a recollection for this literary magazine, and I don't think it's a real place. Like I tried looking up like Merlet University and Merlet Literary Magazine. It doesn't seem to be a thing, so I think it's just a fictional thing, much like Curtisville is a lot of the Curtisville stuff is fictionalized version of like the Pacific Northwest and like the California coast.
Yes.
But it is an interesting wraparound for this piece, given the kind of gives it a level of realism and immersion for the format of it, and also like adds on like when you start reading the other entries to kind of give the overall story, this kind of like epistolary collage style storytelling. because you get this first story that kind of introduces the sack and like how it was this evil thing was buried under a tree, and then we get the later stories. I mean, spoilers that they were like suddenly some of those trees start falling down because of this like wicked storm, and it's like But yeah, Mikey, these stands for evil. What do you have for A is for aberration?
All right, let's see here. Bury a large burlap sack under an old oak tree. Do 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 do.
Is that a song?
Well, yeah. Well, it's tie a yellow ribbon
Oh, okay.
around an old oak tree.
Oh, huh.
We all got that. None of us got that, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, tie a yellow ribbon around an old oak tree in 1998 remaster of a song. Huh. Like I just like that's the first thing that Google like pops up when I type in tie a yellow ribbon. I've never heard of that song, I don't think. That's interesting though.
You don't know the classics. Anyway.
No.
Um,
The classics
Yeah,
I
so-
know are the Three Stooges.
Well, it's
I
a
guess
song, so.
oh, it's still a classic.
Yeah, it's a song from 1973 actually, not 1990. There's a 1998 remaster of the song. But yeah.
mhm, yeah.
Still fitting because
Yeah.
this happened probably around the 70s ish. Because
Yeah,
she
actually,
wrote this in '89.
Yeah.
when she was already working for a magazine.
Well, or she was at a university, so she's at least university age when she submitted. So yeah, 60 is probably still close to that.
Yeah. All right. So my next one here. I had dreamed of a dark, brooding sky made of long spirals of immense teeth, gnashing and cracking, gray ground that shifted like a million tiny spiders. Oh no, the dream of Spiderscape.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Also,
please no.
honestly, my reaction to you
Dogscape any day.
my reaction was, thanks, I hate it. But also I love it because it's fucking fucked up.
It was a very visceral and visual reading of that. I got what it looked like immediately in my head.
God.
And I'm like, I hate this.
Yeah, so from a mythos point of view, it's just like Azathoth has finally showed up to eat the earth from the sky because it's just like a giant maw of gnashing teeth. And then meanwhile, the earth itself is apparently being controlled by Atlach-Nacha, the spider, the eldritch horror spider face of Nyarlathotep. Hence why all the spiders are covering everything.
Mm-hmm. There's
Nice.
tag teaming to take over the earth.
Yeah, well, I mean, Nyarlathotep is technically the Hermes to Azathoth's Zeus. Nyarlathotep in the mythos is a messenger god to the crawling chaos.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
sort of like the Silver Surfer to his Galactus. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have for part A.
Okay, gamer.
I have one that starts before A.
Of course, I know. I think I know what this is.
I don't know if you do. I actually know
Let's
you
see.
do because I mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
I probably should just put this in grammar as well because it's maybe that as well. But regardless, so the title is Aberration Series, Prologue, and A to D. Yet, as far as I can see, there is no separate prologue. It just jumps into A. I came into this expecting to be set up, to have a setup intro before getting into A with a wraparound, but there isn't. I just get thrown in immediately, and I was immediately confused because of that.
Yeah, I think because I was also wondering why there was no prologue, but I think the reason prologue is in the title for this is because this story, this Aberration series, is the prologue for some later events in other Aberration series tales or Aberration series collections. Because there are a number of other Aberration series that we're going to be covering in the next couple of weeks. So maybe this is the prelude to events that'll happen.
But this is getting into grammar.
Mhm.
Shouldn't the wording of the title be Aberration Series Prologue, A through D?
Yeah, it should.
If that's what it's meant to be.
Or even Aberration series and A to D, and then in brackets at the end, prologue.
Yeah. Both of those would work because this
Yeah.
one I was expecting a prologue and got no prologue.
Yeah. That's my secret. I'm always a prologue. That's the story saying that.
Yes, of course. My only other one is kind of related to what you talked about too, but I'm going to say it anyways. Then we watched nervously as he hauled the sack out towards the deep hole he had dug at the base of the old oak near the tree at the edge of our property. Quickly, he dropped it in, covering it up with large mounds of dirt and rocks. I found it odd that he felt the need to keep it, whatever it is, like on the property, because it seems like he never interacts with it. And like it's driving him and his whole family like a little nuts with their nightmares. So why doesn't it just drive to the dump, get rid of it, burn it, throw it in the lake, something else?
Yeah.
I'm assuming because of what we talked about earlier, there is a bunch of stuff going on behind the scenes where he had to go and speak to someone that is knowledgeable on this weird aberration and ask how to actually deal with it. And that's what was suggested.
Yeah.
But without that context of us talking about that in this recording, I was like, why are you keeping it?
I know.
You don't even know why it's there.
It's like, what are we not being told?
Yeah.
It's like, or it's it's like that old kindly neighbor, like you talk to is like, don't go down that road.
Mhm.
Sometimes that is better.
Also, Dad picked that up. Like,
Yeah.
he touched it.
with gloves.
Did he say that?
He does say, yeah. He took out a shovel. He went to the shed with a shovel, with shovels and heavy gloves, heavy work gloves in hand. So
So I guess
I don't
that's
think he-
the skin contact, I guess.
perhaps, yeah. I don't think he like. No, but although, if you want to be real pedantic or like really like really annoying about this,
It was a hot day. He had his shirt off, so he had the heavy gloves.
No,
picked
I'm
up
not
and
even
held
doing-
it against his chest.
I'm not even doing that. It's even worse. So he brings the shovel out and heavy work gloves, goes to the shed. The gloves and the heavy gloves are still like in like his armpits, like basically like held to his side, like under his arm, and he's holding the sack with his bare hands.
Yeah.
Like he was saving the work gloves for like when he like started digging or started like burying it.
Yes.
Uh,
So yeah, maybe the mention of the gloves is why nothing further affected him and why he didn't get just like vacuumed up into the bag or something like that.
yeah, or like lost his soul, like Shang Tsung. The bag's just Shang Tsung inside.
A little bit. Or it's just a bag of holding.
Oh yeah. It could hold the bag man.
Possible.
The second
but that's-
time in like 2 weeks that we've referenced the bag man.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's spooky. Regardless, that's all I got for notes on A.
All right. On to B. B is for bagman. B. All right. Actually, this actually does kind of segue into my notes. So B is for bugbear. Why bugbear? Why not bag of gray, like the poem's name? I don't think there were bugbears in the poem or any of the other parts. So like,
No.
why?
Did you Google bugbear? Because I did. If you Google bugbear, apparently it's not just the D&D race option, which that's what I thought. It also means something that is a consistent source of annoyance or fear.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. That might be why it was used then.
And especially if this is an old-timey if this is also a traditional children's song and nursery rhyme of unknown origin, first recorded in the Republic of the Americas in 1805, that's old-timey enough speak that they would probably use the word bugbear.
Yeah, and that's probably where D&D got the idea to call like a giant furry orc or hobgoblin a bugbear.
If I'm ever a bugbear, I'm going to be the most bugbear. It's going to be a buffalo situation.
Yes. Yes. I honestly completely support this for a character idea for One Less Die, our sister podcast.
Yep. Plug.
Yep. So if I ever kill off your current character, you have two options. You can either be what was like a human fighter or something like that.
I was going to be Dave the fighter.
Yeah, Dave the fighter.
Just a random guy.
Who shovels well.
Yeah. Some say he could swing his sword 5 times? 4 times? I don't remember. What's the joke?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically just that fighters, their whole thing is they can swing their sword more than most people.
Yeah.
And it's like that's their superpower. Meanwhile, a wizard's like fireball. A whole room dies.
Basically, yeah. But yeah, either that option, I either give you that option if your previous character dies, or you get to play this bugbear character. Yeah.
I would have to be from the town of Bugbear.
Yeah, of course.
And I'd have to be named Bugbear, the Bugbear. Bugbear, yes. The Bugbear from Bugbear.
And you only say you have like a regional dialect, like speech impediment. That's just you just say Bugbear.
It's like what I should be doing right now by saying Cubbo.
Yes.
We should move on back to the story though.
Yep, tangent police are gonna be on our ass.
Yeah.
So yeah, what you're saying earlier, like, oh, like this traditional song, nursery rhyme. So I'm just gonna bring this up here, like the actual, like, some of the lyrics of this poem. Oh, the bag of gray, don't touch it near, for whispers rise and fill with fear. It's marked with knots, entangled plights, and holds a darkness day and night. So if you stray and see it loom, a burlap shadow in the gloom, turn back your steps and run away. From all that sorrow comes to stay. For once you touch, you'll know the cost of what the bag of gray has lost. And you might join within its fold, a tale forever to be told. Traditional children's song and nursery rhyme of unknown origin, first recorded by the Republic of Americas in 1805. I do love me a creepy fucking poem in horror fiction. Like the Pumpkinhead poem, like my first like kind of foyer into like creepy poems in fiction, in horror movies and stuff. I don't know. I think this is an original piece as well by M. Pratt. I don't think it exists. It's an actual poem or nursery rhyme. Again, similar situation to the Pumpkinhead poem, that it doesn't actually exist in reality, but like the filmmakers like just kind of made it up based on like their like the vibes they wanted for the sort of Appalachian folk tale aspect of Pumpkinhead. So again, just like love it. And I like how this song, like how we get it after reading the childhood account of this burlap sack, and then we get this. I was like, kind of adds a further context to what's going on.
Yeah, for sure. Better than if it came first, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Because like you start out seeing the burlap sack, it's like, what's their deal with it? Why are they freaking out so much? And then you get the poem, it's like, oh, never mind.
Like I was literally like, I left entry like A is for Aberration, like what's in the bag, what's in the sack, and then this story, like, and then we get a poem about it. It's like, oh, that's what's in the sack. Darkness imprisoning me, all that I see.
Absolute horror, isn't it?
Absolute horror, maybe, yeah,
probably.
But yeah, that's all I got for B is for Bugbear. Poem's good. Mikey, these stands for evil.
I'm evil.
Gamer.
I got a couple. Okay. So basically what I got out of the rhyme, but basically out of the whole thing is just, if you touch the bag, it might literally suck you up inside.
Yeah. Because
all the other context from it we kind of got in the first one. It's like doubled down in this to make it a lot more concerning and worrisome in this with the wording of it. So I wonder if it's like, if you're just near it, it fucks with your head, but the moment you touch it, it just sucks you up.
Maybe,
Or I don't know how aggressive it is.
Because it does say like the farmer touched it quick, a curious soul, and lost his laughter, lost his whole. So like, did he lose does it just take your soul when you touch it with your skin?
Maybe, because it also does say, for once you touch, you'll know the cost of what the bag of gray has lost, and you might join within its fold, a tale forever to be told.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if that means just like physically get within the fold of it, or like just like your soul is in there, but your body is just a puppet to it now.
Yeah, the poem leaves it up to interpretation whether or not it's literal, or if it's physical or spiritual or both.
Yeah.
Also, I just sorry, not to hijack your section here. I just realized the bag of gray. This is Curtisville. Did this bag belong to the Gray Man?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe like maybe that's why is this a connection to the Gray Man? Like
Maybe this is his house.
He does collect. He does like he goes to people's houses and collects things when he's not like being all like devil on the crossroads sort of aspect to him.
He puts them in the bag.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't.
Maybe someone killed the Gray Man and he's currently in the bag.
Yeah, maybe this is like what happened. What became of the Gray Man after one of those previous stories that we covered.
Both possibilities.
Mm-hmm. So it just popped up as we were like discussing the poem here. So.
Mm-hmm. So okay, my next one, and the only other one I have for B is, I mentioned this a couple times. I didn't read over the reference material from the first entry, or rather, it didn't click that the writer is also the narrator in the first one. So because of that, I was under the impression that Z was like compiling the info in relation to the spooky event that she had as a child, aka why we have these 4 stories, that a character is compiling them all together to try to figure stuff out. And that would be the wraparound. But considering the first entry is also just a published entry, I don't know if there's meant to be a wraparound at all, or if these are just, here's a bunch of stories for reasons. You know, it because they're in a list and like set up in this playful manner of like A is for this, B is for that. It seems like they're being put together by a person, like in lore, but there's no wraparound story for that.
So I think
justify that.
I think that aspect of the story, like of the A to D, is supposed to be like not somebody in the story, but like just like an omniscient narrator, kind of just laying out these stories, like this, laying out the narrative through these snippets.
But doing it in such like a playful manner, though, it seems like it's a character in itself.
It could be, but I mean, it also, yeah, I don't know. It could go either way for me. And we just because there are, again, like I said, like there are more Aberration series stories, so like maybe we will get a little bit more. We'll find out a little bit more about that, or it's just intended to be an omniscient narrator,
possibly,
or an omniscient collector or omniscient organizer.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I do like the idea though. Like again, like the Gray Man is just doing this because like he was kind of like a devil prince kind of character in the Visitor from Curtisville. So, so he's sort of a trickstery kind of fellow.
Yeah, it's possible, but that's all I got for B.
All right. Then on to copyright C is for cracks, and that's going to be the first thing that I'm going to address.
Please do.
Why is it a copyright C?
I don't know.
Why isn't it just the letter C? Like, was it a flub? Like, I don't think there's a real reason for it.
I don't know if you can accidentally do that. You have to do an alt code on your keyboard to get the copyright symbol. There's no copyright. You can't just hit shift something for copyright. So
Yeah,
that is very intentional.
Yeah. So like, is it just like, is there an intent behind it other than maybe like, because the other thing I'm thinking of is like, is it just this because M.M. Pratt likes to do stuff whimsically? So like, and like, it's just there for whimsy.
It might be.
Yeah, because I really don't know otherwise, like why it's there. Like again, cracks make sense because like again, like the oak tree's all cracked from when they came down in the storm. That makes sense, like in terms of like that interpretation. But like copyright C, I just don't know. Maybe it's because of the newspaper article, but like that's not a copyrighted thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just very strange.
Because if A was also an at symbol, then it's like, okay, they're going whimsy with this, but it's the one that stands out. It's like, why?
Yeah,
why are
exactly.
you different?
Like I don't want to discourage somebody's like, again, creativity, but it's just like I just want an answer. Why? Why is it copyright C?
I'm sure when they titled it that, they know that people are going to be like, why is it that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's all I got. Like, I don't have answers. I just have questions. Q is for questions. Pratt. Actually, is Q for questions in the later? I don't know. But I digress. D is for digress, but we're still doing C. Moving on to the next thing. In a shocking turn of events that has left the citizens of this small yet historically rich community reeling, a severe weather system swept through Curtisville late last night, toppling several ancient oak trees that have stood for centuries, serving as silent witnesses to the town's evolution. And so, yeah, basically this part, as soon as I read this part, I was like, oh no, based on what happened in A is for Aberration, and what we know from B is for Bugbear, I think I know where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like kind of like the first real realization that this was like a piecemeal, like epistolary style narrative of like each little clipping or snippet of a fiction that's being told is trying to tell some kind of greater story. And I just kind of like that.
Yeah, like these trees being knocked down is potentially releasing the sack man, the gray sack man, whatever, the gray that was buried there in the 70s, 60s, whatever that was.
Yeah, something along that lines. And it actually kind of brought to mind the same kind of style as like in Lovecraft's The Color Out of Space. That story is told like we're told about the horrors that happen in the blasted heath and the old farmers like plot of land and stuff, and how like the land and people and animals around it got like corrupted by this color from out of space.
Name drop.
And then like they were concerned about the land being contaminated, but the township still went ahead and created a dam that flooded that land. So the water might be contaminated. By the end of the story, you realize the water might be contaminated with whatever affected the land when the color arrived. Like they just buried it underwater, but like, what is that going to do to the water for the township?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so it's the same kind of thing here. It's just like, okay, so we get this like the evil has been buried under the trees. Trees are been here for forever. They're gonna keep it at bay. And like even the narrator at the end of the first story is just like, or the end of the first entry is just like, it's like, I hope the earth is heavy and the trees are strong to keep that thing down there. And then like we get to see cracks. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm getting at. Thank you. In much fewer and better words, foreshadowing. All right, we got there. I'll move on to the next thing I have.
But no, I agree. Like that was actually good foreshadowing that I didn't pick up at the time, but as soon as it happened, I was like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh no, what a revelation.
Yeah.
But I'll move on to the next thing I have here. We sort of foreshadowed it in our previous discussion, but the tempest, which arrived with little warning, unleashed high winds and torrential rains, uprooting the iconic trees in the heart of Curtisville's main Adela Park, and along its beloved tree-lined streets. Eyewitness reports describe harrowing scenes as branches cracked and groaned under the immense strain before giving way, some crashing down mere feet away from passerbys. So, we are recording this very close to the anniversary of the late March Ontario ice storm of 2025, which, at least for two of us, was a pretty harrowing ordeal with all the trees that were around us coming down and sounding like the Blitz.
Yeah. And the resulting spring and summer, which was mostly spent carving up trees.
Cleaning up the problem, cleaning up the damage, and like things got interrupted. Annual events for this year got interrupted as a result of that year, or as a result of last year's storm. And I mean, all of us were affected in the aftermath. Like the days and weeks afterward, we were we were without power and internet and what have you, for at least a few. For at least a week or two, at least. It was bad for some of us.
Yeah, it was a bad time.
So
also kind of fun in a way.
it was kind of like exciting, but once the emergency, like we need to like we need to get things in order and stuff like that. Like once that started kind of like kind of subsiding, like we did have like a measure of like safety and such, things got exciting because it felt like something like the apocalypse.
Yeah, the apocalypse is happening. Yeah.
But like in that kind of romanticization that like we have for like post-apocalyptic fiction and such.
Yeah.
But that said, like it also traumatized a lot of people. Like, I recall like later on, like even like in this winter, like this, like in 2025, 2026, there was reports of like another ice storm coming in, and people like on message boards, like on Facebook and stuff of that, like in our community were freaking out or worrying that like, oh no, we shouldn't have gotten rid of our generator and like, and we never got another ice storm like this winter, but like everyone seemed to have suffered from PTSD about the last one.
A little bit. Like I remember like after it happened and everything cooled down, I remember just like going for walks and like if you hear a tree creaking, it's like a gunshot just happened.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I used to go into the woods a lot, like hiking and stuff like that. I definitely went less since last year because of just like, but particularly the devastation, like they were still clearing stuff, but also just like I feel even less comfortable in the woods.
Yeah, knowing that can happen.
Yeah, knowing that like how like just a widowmaker could come down.
Mm-hmm.
As it's called. So yeah, hella related to the mention of trees coming down in as a result of a storm. So just like the flashbacks from last year were strong when reading this part. And that's a personalized thing, and like, but it's a great thing to have in context of like reading something that's like a creepy fiction thing. It's like, oh yeah, I can relate to that trauma of like these trees coming down and stuff. Because I even mentioned earlier, like how like people, the town of Curseville were kind of mourning over like the destruction of these trees. We actually had that like at where our cottage is. A bunch of trees on the island are like old ancient oaks and ancient maples and stuff, and those all just came down like dominoes along the main back path. So like, and even into the summer, like we in May we had a really nasty like rainstorm, like rain and windstorm, while we were at our cottage. And it took down a tree that was on its last legs from the ice storm.
Damn.
Like it finished the
sole
job.
survivor.
So that I could, again, like trees being uprooted or even breaking in half and coming down and having to be like taken care of. I can relate a lot with this article alone in this part of the story, just from that own personal experience / trauma of a natural disaster. So, but yeah, and then the last thing I have for C-section, lifelong resident Marjorie Cartwright expressed her profound sorrow over the destruction. These oaks are not just trees; they are a part of our town's heritage, she stated in a press conference earlier this morning. Oh, Mrs. Cartwright, the old crazy cat lady who was attacked and framed by a vampire in 2412 East Cochrane Road.
I knew the name was familiar.
Yeah, I was like,
I probably should have clicked on that link.
Yeah, so Marjorie Cartwright in the story is a link to 2412 East Cochrane Road, and in that story, she is a crazy cat lady who was rushed to like some like psychological ward or psychological facility after what was seen as like a suicide attempt. Like she I think like slit her wrist or something like that. But the wounds, according to another character in that story, the wounds didn't look like clean cuts. They looked like almost like animal bite marks on her head. So, but there was a knife
to
nearby.
Vampires. Yeah,
and she was like and that other person who will remain nameless until it's brought up in D section here, was saying that the reason why she left what reason why she was a crazy cat lady and she had like cats all over the place and she had all these tchotchkes on her lawn was to prevent vampires from getting into her home. So again, interesting that we got like we get to see what this character was like before time passed and they became a crazy cat lady, basically. But yeah, that's all I've got for C section. So Mikey, D stands for evil.
I'm evil.
Gamer.
You already talked about mine, so yeah, I'm good.
All right. Then I suppose we'll move on to D is for details. So I'm going to start with this quote here, because I don't have any problem with the title in this one. Like, D's for details. I mean, we get a bunch of details. Self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no weird, like, there's no weird letter change to D. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's a lowercase one for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
I was making... that would be a way to make it a weird one, which it is not.
Oh, okay. you like jump scared me for a second. I was like, wait, because in my notes I had it as capital D. I was like, wait, no, oh no.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
All right. Moving on to the thing I have here, though. Text from the Poison Chain, the documented facts in the case of otherworldly revenge by Herb D. Tillinghast, Merlet University Press, 2014. So is Merlet University like the Miskatonic University of Curtisville? A fictional, is it the fictional local university that like weird stuff kind of like, or like that is just sort of like a focal point for academics in the area? Because I tried looking it up. Merlet, as far as I can tell, Merlet, like capital MURRE space lowercase LET university does not exist as far as I can tell. So I believe it is a fictional location or academic location.
Question: do we know how big Curtisville is?
From what's been described, it's just like a small town. So,
there's probably one university.
Yeah.
So any information from a university in that town is probably coming from that university.
True. Yeah. Also, I do think I did kind of get a chuckle also from the author of this documented facts thing, Herb D. Tillinghast, mostly because Tillinghast is the last name of a professor from the Lovecraft stories, who created a device that allowed you to see beyond our physical reality and like see like the layers of reality beyond ours in a story called The Beyond.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is that a story called hang on. I gotta find out what movie that movie's called. What's a movie with Roddy Piper and Keith David?
They Live?
Yeah, They Live. Because doesn't he have like glasses that let him see into a different reality?
Yeah. Oh, it lets them see like the truth, like the behind the subliminal messaging that the aliens are putting over us and stuff like that. And
I should really see that movie at some point. I've only seen the fight scene multiple times.
It is such a fun movie and like such a time capsule. But yes, kind of similar to that. But like, it's basically a device that like it plays. It kind of like the radiation that pulls that like is generated from the device that he makes, like affects the human brain to allow like basically almost like a third eye like perception to like see things beyond our regular perception. And unfortunately, things in that beyond space see back and can affect us.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
So it's a lot like Astral Sight and Shadowrun. Sorry, Mikey.
A little bit, yeah. It's like, but if it was like a mechanic, like a scientific or technological, like there's a technological like means of creating that effect.
Yes.
There's actually a movie made called, I think, From Beyond, that starred Jeffrey Combs as Tillinghast. Yeah,
that's cute.
But yeah. So again, just like furthering my like, is Merlet University just Miskatonic in this situation? Like, it's only come up like in this story so far. Like, I don't think we've ever heard Merlet University in previous Curtisville's stories that we've covered, but this could be like a new addition to the landscape.
Could be.
And then moving on to the next thing I have here. Hemlock Boisvert, the town's lifelong eccentric historian and self-proclaimed keeper of the local lore, claimed the oaks were not just trees, but a connection to a time long before the arrival of humans, a time when nature reigned supreme. And I'm guessing he's also the grandfather, or perhaps father, of Gerald Boisvert, since there's another link to 2412 East Cochrane Road, again, from his name, and Gerald Boisvert was the kid that was talking about like all the weird like lore of the neighborhood, including the
Mhm.
vampires and stuff.
That's true.
Also, I learned how to say his last name.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you talked about his name and I didn't have to. And
Yeah,
dumbly say Boisvert,
Yeah,
which is how it's spelled.
Buongiorno. Just- yeah, exactly, because it's obviously like a French word or like
Yeah,
similarly French
obviously.
word. So it's like you gotta like make sure you gotta figure out where the silent letters are. Boisvert.
That's what it
Like,
says, dude.
I know it is yeah. Also, I'm guessing that Hemlock Boisvert is probably like the Armitage of Curtisville. Now that we have like Tillinghast and his writings, and we have the Miskatonic of Curtisville with Merlet University, and now this keeper of lore and an eccentric historian. So that's obviously the Armitage, the Professor Armitage character type.
By the way,
So-
in regards to the word eccentric, I heard this in a quote recently on a show that I've been watching. Eccentric is just the word crazy, but if you're rich.
Yep.
Okay, Speed. Poor people are crazy. I'm eccentric. Yeah, I love that line. I don't know if that is it. I can actually look up what it. I think it's the reason it's said like that in that quote is because like it's a classier way of saying somebody's crazy or like weird.
Yes.
But yeah. I like how you did like reference the line. I immediately knew where you were referencing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And moving on to my last thing for D is for details. But as they worked, things changed. Tools would mysteriously malfunction. Workers would report feeling dizzy or disoriented near the oak stumps. A strange, sweet fragrance, not of decay, but of something almost floral, hung heavy in the air. Yeah, that seems accurate based on the previous entries in this narrative. Like, though I'm kind of surprised that there wasn't mention of freaking nightmares plaguing the workers after work, or even like the locals as the work went on. Again, just yeah, it's like no, like obviously like this is sort of like a nice little like kind of semi conclusion to like what happened. Like this thing was buried like a decade or two ago underneath some oak trees to keep it buried and safe, and keep the city safe, or the town safe. And then there's a storm that just kind of came in and took out the oak trees that were standing guard against this thing, and now that they're dying, basically this thing is able to start seeping out, perhaps.
It almost makes it sound like the massive trees were like ents, like actually conscious beings that were purposefully keeping this thing contained.
Maybe they're less like ents and like more like the Deku tree, because like they're stationary, but they're still guarding the land spiritually.
Yes.
But yeah, and perhaps the ancient ones are more like tree ents,
Mhm.
since tree ents in Lord of the Rings lore and some of that is like they're tree herders, like they have flocks of trees that they watch over.
Is it tree ent or ent? I always just say ent. I don't know
Both.
which it is. Okay, cool, great.
Like in some fictions and some folklore, or like it's tree ent or Trent or treant, like Treant.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's like for just short form it's ent. But I've heard like every which way for the description.
For sure.
But that's all I've got for D sections. So Mikey, D stands for evil.
All right. So this note is actually a conjunction C and D.
Okay.
So the trees fall in 2003.
Yeah.
In part C.
Yes.
Part D talks about the cleanup crew in 2014.
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
I got
Actually,
you
you're wrong. Moving on.
Yeah, so like the text here is from this like article that this Tillinghast guy made in 2014, but he's referencing the events that happened in Uniontown on September 30th, 2003.
it doesn't say 2003. It just says September 30th.
No, but it says text from the Poison Chain, Tillinghast, Union Press, 2014, page 40. Then you go down, the September 30th article written by the Uniontown's longtime editor goes on. So you can surmise, or assume that September 30th article is
But it
in
doesn't
reference
say
to the
2020 or 2003.
Yes, but it is at the top of C is for Crack. There's news clipping from Uniontown Times Standard, September 30th, 2003, and then it goes into the storm.
I can see how you could be confused compared
Yeah.
to the part at D that says the September 30th article written by the Uniontown's longtime editor. Two very different lines.
Mhm.
I will give you this.
I'm being sarcastic, obviously.
For extra clarity. They maybe should have said the September 30th, the September 30th, 2003 article.
Yep.
For better clarity. But if you read between the lines, if you surmise,
or the article about the September 30th storm that destroyed all the trees, or even just the September 30th storm,
Well, it does, and it detailed the destruction caused by the unprecedented storm that raged through the night. So, it does say, it does talk about the storm that came through. But
yes, I'm just trying to put it towards the front for Mikey's sake.
I fair, yeah.
Because honestly, I'm a lot like that a lot of the time too, where it's like I start reading a sentence, and if I don't get the right opinion right away or view right away, by the end of it, it's like, oh, it told me there, but I should have been told there at the start. So I get you, Mikey, but I don't agree with you. But I get you.
Yeah, I'm also willing. I don't agree with you, but I am willing to compromise in that it could been a little bit clearer for some people.
Mm-hmm. Yes, could have been much clearer. Sure. Because September 30th doesn't give you the year.
Okay, whatever.
The event gives you the year. Moving on.
Yes.
How do we know they haven't had another one?
You're right. Yeah, it's just yeah.
Because it could be in Tornado Alley,
Yeah, the Tornado Alley, like the Pacific Northwest, Northern California area. That's very tornado-y.
That's also the name of my other new D&D character, who is a wizard who specifically focuses in wind magic all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And her name is Tornado Alley.
Oh man, that is good. And you gotta have you're like a cow wizard. You're like a cowboyish wizard.
Yeah,
yeah.
I should probably start writing these down, but I don't.
Should. Instead of a staff, you have a lasso.
Mm-hmm.
How you channel your magic.
Oh, and it does the spinny. So that's very tornado-y.
And your Misty Step is actually just like you just become the wind and teleport somewhere else.
That's pretty cute.
You have Featherfall, and you have I can do.
The problem to all that is I hate playing a wizard.
Because there's too many fiddly bits.
It really is. I just want to run up and hit him.
Anyway, that's the end of my part D.
Okay. I'm sorry to just jump at you, but I was like, no, he's wrong. I need to correct him. That was immediately went to my mind. I was like,
we all view the world in different ways. We all read this in different ways and see it the way that we want to see it.
Some more pedantic than others.
Mm-hmm.
So, Gamer.
My turn. Yes.
Yes.
I have one, and it's just kind of like a sort of connective tissues thing, just because I was seeing some parallels to a show I've been watching recently, Smallville, which is a show about Superman. Curtisville kind of feels like Smallville. Because it's a sleepy little town where all kinds of weird supernatural stuff goes down. Mm-hmm. And Z kind of feels like Chloe, a woman who is getting information about all the weird goings on. At least that was my original thought, was that she was collecting all of these, but she's not.
Is that the blonde friend of Clark in that show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, we just need a Clark Kent and a Lex Luthor, and now we're all set. But joking aside, I can make those connections with a ton of other ideas too, because that's just a way of displaying information. So
yeah,
but either way, it's kind of fun that it just fit like that. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, this interpretation of Curtisville kind of reminded me a lot, through these different snippets that kind of reminded me a lot of Icar Falls a bit.
Mhm.
Just of like how like the town like had this thing happen, and like it has like kind of an eccentric history and peoples. So yeah.
That's all I got left for notes.
Okay. Well then, on to final thoughts. I'm still going to recommend it. I really came to like the fragmented narrative, the epistolary style that progressed over the different snippets of media and materials presented. Like as you read through it, from different times, POVs, and even literary mediums, like a newspaper article, and then like an essay from some college thing, and the writing entry for this like literary magazine, and then
And a rhyme.
a poem. yeah, nursery rhyme. It paints a picture of some evil that was buried beneath these protective trees, and then either through intention or happenstance, a storm wrenched it back up to the surface. Or at least that's how I perceived it by the end of the story. Like that's how it seemed like the narrative was going for me.
Mm-hmm.
It, again, felt very much in line with something from like Lovecraft, or even like a Chris Straub's Ichor Falls works.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line, I really dug the story. So see what I did there?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I recommend it.
Nice. But yeah, I wonder what's going to happen, because like all the magical quote unquote spores or whatever is in the air, and it's like messing with people. I wonder if basically like this is going to be the event that's going to make a bunch of like more weird, creepy shit happen in the later ones.
Yeah, because this is new. Like this is new written material for Curtisville. So like we've had like M.M. Pratt's written for years about like the different like kind of magical realism of Curtisville, like with the elves and dwarves like living among humans, and don't worry about it. They're just that's just wolf cop guy. Like, just like, oh, that's just some creature from like the borderlands between dimensions, like that, like they use as a topiary decoration for their backyard. Like, yeah, like I love that aspect of it, and I'm curious like to see how this is going to go. I'm also like, again, more like after I finished reading this, I was like, okay, this might be a prologue to like what we're gonna get next. So like, or because I think it would be weird if if this is just like a standalone story, and then we go into like the next like Aberration Ida, whatever, Ida something, and it's a completely different like thing. Like I feel like these stories are going to tie together in some way.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Mikey, these stands for evil.
Well, my main issue was the timestamp issue.
That one line ruined it
all.
all.
That's the hill you're gonna die on. That is okay.
Yeah, that's the hill I'm gonna die on.
All right. Definitely not a spite for me just like jumping down your throat.
Nope.
And yeah, I'm still going to give this a partial.
All right, fair enough. Gamer.
For me, I'll probably stick with partial as well. Like the read it's different and interesting. Like it's an interesting way to like handle a multi-chapter story, having them all be from very different mediums, like you said. But what I found kind of jarring was the lack of a wraparound narrative, because I went in here, like I said, assuming that it was going to be someone saying like, this spooky thing happened to me as a kid, and I'm finding more like articles and quote unquote facts about it actually being real, and here's all the information I'm getting together. And like through me piecing this and this together, I think this is this. But that didn't happen. But that's technically my fault for assuming that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I assumed that because it said prologue, and for some reason my brain went into that being some sort of a setup.
Yeah, because at the moment, like that person is M.M. Pratt.
Yes, absolutely.
So, which might, I mean, again, like they could, like, so I know, again, like Lovecraft and Frank Belknap Long, various other pulp writers in the past, like have made fictional versions of themselves as the narrator for a story, for epistolary and just like general pulp fiction stories that they write. Like they do it in the first person, like as if they're sending a letter to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like it's completely fictional retelling. Like there's it brings to mind the one Frank Belknap Long story, The Space Eaters, which is literally a story about him, the author Frank, and Lovecraft in a story, and Lovecraft dies. Like Lovecraft gets eaten by these spheroid outer entities from space that eat space. And the way they eat space is like when it comes to people, what they eat is they basically burrow holes in your mind, in your head, and eat your brain.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, but it's like
That's probably how he would want to go, anyways.
Yeah. But it was also like it was told from Frank's like perspective, like telling another friend of his, and like so the entire story is just like a front quotation on every paragraph, and then leaving no quotation at the end of the paragraphs till the very end.
Yeah,
like it was like a transcription of like of a monologue he was telling somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's and to a point. That's kind of how some of these stories previous to this have felt, where it's basically someone saying like it's a first person perspective. Like you're seeing it through their eyes. You're witnessing what they experienced.
Yeah.
So I went in here assuming that there would be a part of that, and it started like that, but then it ended by saying that this is published in a paper and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, like each facet of it had its own separate first person perspective. Like again, the first one was a narrator, or was like an entry that somebody wrote from their perspective. The poem, the journalist who wrote the article, and then the Tillinghast who wrote like that essay part. So
yeah,
but like you're saying, like I'm surprised. Yeah, like it would be interesting if there was an actual like a wraparound kind of thing. Maybe even at the end where it's like, this is what I've collected so far about what happened before things got really bad, and then we go into like the rest of the Aberration series.
Yeah. Granted, the start of the next Aberration series might start with a wraparound like that. For all I know, I haven't clicked on the next button yet. Should I do that?
No, I've actually, aside from checking for other links like hyperlinks in the things, I actually haven't like gleaned what the next narrative is. So,
but either way, the read of it was good. It's just I had a hard time feeling out like how it was meant to be, because like with it listed like that, in a way it almost gave me like, is this going to be like an SCP thing where they're listing different creatures by different letters?
Honestly, that's what I thought. That was kind of like me going into the Aberration series when we were told about it. That's kind of what I thought it was, because it was like A is for Aberration, B is for Bugbear. And I was like, oh, so is it going to be like different like creatures in the Curtisville series or in like M.M. Pratt's new stuff? Like, but it's more or less like they're just chapter titles for some bigger narrative that I think they're telling through smaller pieces of fiction.
They're written so whimsically.
I know. God.
It's like it's a children's book, which it might be by the end.
Oh my
of this.
God, that would be if that's where it's all like alluding to, like this is actually going to end up being a book. I'm buying that book.
Absolutely.
But like, yeah, that would be like, it is so like, again, darkly whimsical, like because it's like it's dealing with horror stuff, but it's got that whimsy that Curtisville stuff has. That special seasoning of whimsy.
You're right. I shouldn't be docking points for whimsy. We come here for whimsy. This is why we're here.
Yeah, this is why we read. This is why we've come to start reading Curtisville stories. Is for the dark fairy tale-esque whimsy of that blends in with like mundane horror of like a small town.
Yeah. So let's screw it. I'm gonna say I'll recommend it because like realistically, you're allowed to be excited and happy. But realistically, most of my problems were just my own problems. It's not a problem with the story itself. It's just me making false assumptions and stuff like that. So the story as read is fine and it's interesting, and I'm interested to see what comes next. So I guess I'll recommend it.
Awesome. You can't see it. Future me edit this out. I've been like fist pumping this entire time.
Yeah, got him with the whimsy. Yeah,
in your face, Mikey. In your face. I'm kidding.
I'm happy on my hill.
That's fine. Yeah,
it is a comfortable hill to be on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are not teetering. You are planted on the very top of that hill.
Mm-hmm. We are at the bottom of the hill. Whether that means the vertical bottom or horizontal bottom, who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess 2 recommendations and one partial recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that'll do it for this week's episode. I do look forward to seeing how this progresses.
Yeah, if it's just going to completely continue on from here, or if it's a different event that happens, and maybe there'll be a like some sort of a Avengers Endgame situation where all these events will converge at the end.
Maybe, yeah, because like I mean, it's the Aberration series, like it's specifically like tied to something. So like,
Yeah,
like so there's sort of like that's already like kind of ingrained in the title of this series. So, but yeah, that's it for tonight. If you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below where this gets posted. Some of us are on Blue Sky. Mikey is at the E Stands for Evil, and I'm at Review Cultist. You can also send us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com, where you can also leave us suggestions for other creepypastas, SCPs, spooky things. You creep it, we'll peep it. Yeah. And if you'd like to help support our show financially, you can go to Patreon. We have special episodes, early access, and extra content. To all our patrons helping support the show, thank you immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay. And as always, we very much appreciate that. And to our listeners and the authors of these stories, thank you immensely, because without your listenership, it'd be like screaming into the void. And without your authorship, writing and posting these stories on the internet, and even suggesting them to us sometimes, we really wouldn't have much of a show because we'd have nothing to talk about. So thank you. Now's a good time to mention that we are part of a podcast network, Crit in the Night, an actual play and creepypasta podcast network. We're there alongside our sister podcast, One Less Die, and our cousin podcast, The Role Playing Exchange, for things that go crit in the night. Until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the E Stands for Evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.